Hey friend, welcome back to the Her Best Self podcast. I'm Lindsay Nickel and I'm so glad you're here today. Today we're talking about something that might sound a little counterintuitive at first, but I promise you if you stick with me, this message might be the most freeing thing that you hear this week. The title of today's episode is You Aren't Enough. And I know, that might feel super harsh, especially if you've spent years being told by the eating disorder that you're not enough, not thin enough, not disciplined enough, not worthy enough. But I want you to hear me out because what I'm about to share with you, it is the opposite of what the eating disorder has been telling you all along. And I really think it's going to be a game changer in your life. Hey girl, welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. I'm Lindsay Nickel, former competitive figure skater and perfectionist, turned God-led imperfect boy mom and digital CEO. If you find yourself constantly thinking about food and wondering if you'll wake up one day free from the obsessive thoughts and behaviors controlling your life, then I've created this podcast for you. Because I know exactly what it's like to be a downright hot mess, trapped in a destructive cycle of disordered eating. I finally found freedom, and you can too, girlfriend. So if you're ready to heal your relationship with food and body and break the chains of control and show up in your best health, then grab your favorite Tarjay journal and let's get to it. So you can start living your best life as your best self. All right, sister friend, do I have a show for you today? I'm so excited to be recording the show for you today. I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit better. I've been under the weather. I think my boys gave me something other than flowers for Mother's Day this year. Maybe germs, maybe a cold. I don't know. I'm chalking it up to it's just allergies, and I'm telling myself that because, we got to record the show. I'm here today and I'm super excited to deliver a message that has just been building on my heart. So what I want to start with is the eating disorder's promise. And I want to see if this resonates with you. That voice inside your head just saying to you, if you can just be thin enough or disciplined enough or perfect enough, then you'll finally be worthy. Then you'll finally be loved. Then you'll be valuable. Then you won't be rejected. Like, put in your then. Does that sound familiar? Because that is how I realized the eating disorder was running the show in my life, because I constantly never felt good enough. And I realized I turned to the eating disorder to feel good enough with something. Because if I could control and manipulate my body, then I had arrived. The mind convinces us that enough is something we have to achieve, something that you have to earn, something that lived on the other side of a certain number on the scale that you saw every morning, or a certain level of control, or a certain body size. And so you've spent your life chasing it. You restrict your food, you track your food, you control everything, you exercise, you weigh yourself, you body check in every mirror, every window, every reflection. And this is because that voice in your mind promised you that if you could just get there, wherever there is, you would finally feel enough. But here's what I wanted to share. You never got there, did you? And this is real today. I hope you take it. And if you're not in a good headspace to get some real love, then listen to the show later. But I want you to be so impacted by the show that you go and do something for yourself. Because friend, every time you hit a goal, the goalpost is going to be moved when we are letting the disorder drive the bus. Every time you lose that weight, it's actually 5 more pounds ago. Actually, you should be more disciplined. Actually, you're still not there yet. The disorder doesn't have an enough threshold. It can't. Because if you have ever actually felt enough, then you wouldn't need it anymore. And I realized this in my recovery. I was like, I just keep chasing and moving the goalpost and performing and striving and earning until there is just utter exhaustion. But here's where it gets tricky. You realize and you get out of denial that you're doing this to yourself. And you start listening to this podcast, you start recovering, whatever that means for you. You start putting in some work, doing a couple of reps. You're learning about eating and body image and accepting and challenging the diet culture lies. And recovery will tell you, in some circles, just love yourself. Just accept your body. Just be body positive. Just practice self-compassion and you'll be okay. And on the surface, that sounds so much better than what your brain has been telling you all along, right? But if you're honest, and this is where I wanted to get to today, doesn't it sometimes feel just like another impossible standard to achieve? So now instead of being thin enough, it's love yourself enough, have good body image. Instead of being disciplined enough, it's, oh, you're enough, sis. And I've even said those words to you. And I do want you to love yourself. And I do want you to have self-compassion. But instead of performing for the eating disorder, we can find ourselves performing for recovery. And guess what? That equates to exhaustion too. Here's what nobody wants to say out loud. This is going to ruffle some feathers. That's okay. I'm ready for it. Self-love culture can become just as much of a trap as the eating disorder was. Now, that's a bold statement, Lindsay. I get it. Okay, here I am. But now you're not just trying to control your body. You're trying to control your feelings about your body. You're trying to force yourself to feel things that you don't even feel yet. You're beating yourself up for not being good enough at recovery. It's the same performance trap. It's just different words. It's a different concept. And friend, this is the underscore. Are you ready for it? You ready? Your worth has never been up for debate. Not when you are at your lowest weight, not now, wherever you are on the spectrum of recovering, not if you gain weight, not if you struggle tomorrow, not if you can't muster up a good body image day today. Your worth was established before you ever had a body to obsess over. Before you ever knew what a scale was, before you ever stepped on one, before you ever restricted a meal, before you ever looked in the mirror and decided that you weren't enough. But here is it. You're not supposed to be enough, friend. You are not supposed to be enough. This is where I find women lose everything. If you're surrounded in a culture that keeps telling you that you're enough, friend, and you're enough, girl, and you have exactly what it takes. I'm the one also that has been guilty, I'll raise my hand, of giving you that inspirational stuff. And it is inspirational, and I love it, and it makes for a good meme, and it makes for a good saying on a coffee mug. But here is what you need to know. If you were enough, you wouldn't need to turn and surrender your life to the one who created you. If you were enough, you wouldn't be in this situation right now. When I talk about my framework and the principles that run this company, yes, it is physical recovery. Yes, it is emotional recovery. Yes, mental recovery. But something that we just don't talk about enough is that soul-based recovery. You're not supposed to be enough. You weren't created to be enough. You were created not to be enough. God's love for you, friend, it's already complete. It's not conditional on your size. It's not conditional on your progress. It's not even conditional on your ability to love yourself. It's already done. It's finished. So without getting too deep today, no matter where you are with your faith, I want you to know this. You can stop performing right now. You can stop trying to earn worthiness through thinness. You can stop trying to be enough through perfect self-love tactics and all the things. You can stop trying to earn anything because you're already loved. And I want to be really clear here because I don't want you to hear this as a spiritual bypassing. This doesn't mean that you don't have to do any work of recovery. You definitely do. You still need to nourish your body. You still need to challenge the eating disorder thoughts. You still need to show up to therapy. Get a coach. I'm here for you, sis. You still need to have support around you. This work matters because this is the work. But the reason you do the work changes. You're not doing it to earn your worth. You're not doing it to even be your very best self, because here is it. This is it. And this is the irony in my entire brand. Her best self. You're only going to be your very best self if you're not just looking to yourself for your worthiness. You're looking to who created you. You're looking to something higher than you because you're already worthy and you're not recovering to become it. You're not recovering to become lovable. You're recovering because you're already loved. Do you see the difference? One feeling is striving, the other one is responding. When you are internally focused on recovering and getting to the finish line, you're striving, you're performing, you're in exhaustion mode. But when you can surrender your entire recovery and go, you know what? I don't know how I'm going to feel if I gain weight. I don't know how I'm going to feel on the other side of this, but I know that God has a plan. I know that I didn't show up on this planet the way that I am now. And so therefore, I can have gratitude in knowing that freedom is going to be there for me. I must continue to walk and trust. Trust in something higher than me, in you and yourself. So if you've been leaning on yourself to figure all this out, today I'm giving you permission. Permission to not have it all figured out. Permission to not feel okay in your body today or tomorrow. Permission to struggle and still be worthy. Permission to be a work in progress. Gosh, the list goes on of all the permission that you get from me, like permission to rest. You don't have to be enough because you weren't ever meant to be enough. You were meant to be broken. Because if we don't break, then we don't search for a relationship that is higher than ourselves. If we don't struggle, then we don't know what it's like to reach out to the God of the universe who can save us from ourselves. And to be imperfectly and completely loved by something that is greater than ourselves, that our brain can even fathom that kind of love. All of these things are true at the same time. The disorder will tell you that you have to be perfect to be accepted. And sometimes recovery is going to tell you that you have to perfectly love yourself in order to be free from this. But friend, God says this, and I need you to hear it. You're mine. You're loved. You're worthy. And not because of what you do or what you weigh or how you feel about yourself today, but because He made you and He doesn't make mistakes. Do you hear me? I want you to rest in this message. And if you're listening to this and you're tired of performing, tired of trying to be enough, tired of the endless striving, I want you to know I see you. As I sat down to prep for today's show, I wanted to give you a one-liner that was going to have you stepping forward into some peace this weekend. And here's what I want you to know. You can put it down, sis. You can put down the eating disorder, the self-love pressure, the performance, all of it. You can put it down and you can rest in this truth that you're already loved. Your worth is already established. You're already enough by the maker of the universe. Not because you've achieved it, not because you have the resume, not because you have the 12-pack. I love this message because I'm reading a book right now. It's called You're Not Enough and That's Okay. And I just recommend this book over and over for you if you've been led the lie of, you're enough, sis. You're enough. I swear I've said this so many times on this show, even myself. And so reading this book for me has been an eye-opener because culture tells us we're not enough. So we've tried to become enough through weight loss, enough through restricting. What if the answer, though, isn't being enough, but being loved? And so if you have ever felt pressure to just love yourself through in recovery or felt like, I just wish I could love my body, but I don't. Sis, who said you had to? You don't have to be enough. You never have had to be enough because you weren't supposed to be enough. So if you're interested in the book, I love it. It's called You're Not Enough and That's Okay. It's by Allie Beth Stuckey. When I saw the title, it's not what I thought it was going to be, but especially when we link these concepts to diet culture, who's been telling us that you're not enough for years, it's so freeing because recovery doesn't mean pretending that you love your body when you don't love it. It doesn't mean faking positivity or forcing affirmations. You're imperfect. You're a work in progress. You might never feel completely in love with your body, and that's okay. But your worth doesn't depend on how you feel about yourself. That's where we get it twisted. Again, all of this is self-centered, imposed in us. Really, your worth is dependent on how God sees you. And guess what? He sees you as loved, even at your worst state, even in your biggest struggle, even when you can't love yourself enough. Self-love culture, it demands that positivity. I'm amazing. I'm enough. I can do all things. And I do love those things because they're so inspiring. But when we think about how self-obsessed an eating disorder is, every thought is about your body, your food, your weight, and your appearance. I want us to think about this a little bit differently. If you're recovering and you feel like in order to be recovered, I must love my body, I must truly love every single part of me and who I am, that is exhausting. What if instead of trying to love yourself perfectly, you remembered that you have a creator that knit you together in your mother's womb? What if instead of trying to love yourself, you remembered that you're already loved? That's where your freedom is. And when we talk about recovering, you have to live for something bigger than your own self in order to get out of this. It's about getting your eyes off of yourself and getting your eyes off of the mirror and getting your eyes off of the scale and off of the apps and living for something bigger than body management. Living for something that is like, you know what? I struggle and I am not perfect, and that's okay. Because if I was perfect, I wouldn't need a relationship with my creator who sees me in the brokenness and who loves me anyways. And so, sis, I just wanted to share this message with you. And I want you to know that you are so chosen and so worthy and so loved by the maker of the universe. And if you're in the dumps today, just know that you're not alone. You're not alone. Thank you for being here. I know this episode was a little bit different, but I hope it landed exactly where it needed to land. If this resonates with you, I would love for you to share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you're looking for more support in your recovery journey, I would love to have you join us in the Recovery Collective. This is my support group program for women who are ready to do the hard, beautiful work together of recovery. I also provide one-on-one support, and you can submit a client application to work with me on herbestself.co. I want you to remember that you don't have to be enough. Remember that truth today. Plaster it everywhere that you go. I love you, sis, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Oh, friend, thank you so much for letting me share what was on my heart today. My hope for this podcast is to help more women find freedom from food and body. If this has empowered or blessed you, let me know. I'd be honored for your rating and review of my show, and I'd love to connect with you in my private Facebook community. You really can move from perfection to purpose. Let's break the chains together. I'll help navigate the way. Until next time, bye for now, girl.